Showtime live. Just a couple minutes late because of last minute things I tried to do. Straighten my little badge. And my fucking webcam fucking with me again. Anyone who was on Friday night's live stream would have heard me complain about my webcam. Not so much the webcam, it's a good quality webcam. The software that controls it shits me up the wall. Hey, Megaleech, how you going? And it will sometimes just arbitrarily, I'll go and switch on because I've managed to find a setting that I like, and hopefully it looks okay at the moment. It looks okay on my laptop, and it doesn't always look the same when people see it at the other end. But I'll have a setting that I'm happy with, and I'll save that. And then for no reason whatsoever, another time I'll switch it on and it's some really balked setting and I've got to adjust that. And that happened tonight just before I came on. It was really dark. Anyway, hello, Megaleech, Stella, Chris. Good evening, good evening, good evening. A quick look at what this looks like on the actual platforms. Oh, it looks okay. It looks okay. I'll live with that, I think. Yeah, I'll live with that. I think it looks... Oh, the focus was one thing that someone thought was a bit funny the other night. No, Megaleech, I haven't fixed whatever's fucking around with green on this. I'm slightly out of focus again. Okay, Zvan, hello. And Gecko, hello. Did I say hello, Gecko? I don't know. But, okay, I've got to play with the focus as well. Okay, so that's way out of focus. I've got to swing it way out of focus to feel more comfortable about. That's way out of focus the other way. That feels sharp. That feels sharp to me. Ooh, man, Gecko got some old photos sorting through and scanning. Nice. Is it showing green? Let's see. That kind of is. That's green. It's a zombie eye mask. This is really green. What's it showing this as? Nope. It's showing it as like orange, and it's actually really bright green. Yep, no, it's not showing green. I have no idea what it is with this fucking webcam, honestly. Anywho, I'm going to make myself a drink. Got my lemonade I made with my carbonating machine. And to make it different and nice and interesting, unusual, the pegs on the flower, they are green, actually. Yeah, well, it's good if they look green because they are actually green. Pegs on the flower. Bit of blood orange juice in there to make it a bit more interesting. Svan, yours makes things very... See, is it a Logitech? No, it's a Razer. It's a Razer Kyo. See, I have this fucking control panel for it where I can theoretically adjust focus, exposure, brightness, contrast, saturation, white balance, other things, sharpness. What happens if I play with sharpness? Make all my skin, and if I do it low, I should stop fucking with things, really. Ooh, that's interesting. Lose detail in the background if I adjust the sharpness thing. Oh, well. I'm going to stop fucking with the controls now. Maybe things are green if they're in the distance. I don't know. Gecko, print out a color palette sheet. I'm honestly not that worried about it. It could be a lighting issue. It could be any number of things. Yes, Chris, this is refreshing. Just a lemonade and a blood orange juice. As you can see, my cocktail making here, gonna be making some whiskey sours this stream to go on a cocktail channel, because Tuesday is Whisky Sour Day. And Whisky Sour is like, just one of my favorite cocktails. Although I shot 3 videos on Friday night, those were the 3 I was going to those were the 3 I was going to put up this week. But then I found out it's Whisky Sour Day. I can't miss Whisky Sour Day. So I've been looking. One of the websites that I'm on their mailing list for, liquor.com, which is a pretty good website. No, stop that. Wait, it was in my... why am I having... anyway. Liquor.com. 6 things you should know about the Whisky Sour. 1, it's good. Go even Steven on the sweet and sour. You can put red wine in it. Oh, yes, a New York sour. Bourbon is best. Doesn't have to have an egg white, but it's better with it. Responds well to riffs. Punch is probably its popper. The one thing I found on it was actually in an email that I got from the liquor.com website, and had some pretty interesting riffs on it. I don't know if I'm going to change it. I mean, because some of them, they go the whole way with do riffs like put a bit of Amaro in, put a bit of banana liqueur in, put a bit of wine in, all these things. So they get some really interesting riffs. And the bit that really caught my eye is their suggestions for variations on the sweetener. Like, traditionally it's just sugar syrup. One I'm making, it's off in the background here. They suggested you start with oleo saccharum, which I have. That's where you put sugar on fruit peel, and the sugar draws the citrus oils out of the peel, and it liquefies it. Then you add some water to that and strain it, and you've got a really zingy, fruity sugar syrup then. Now, what they suggested is, with the oleo base, add some more fruit juice and milk clarify it. And if you know me, you know I love milk clarifying things. So they call this like a milk clarified sweet and sour mix. So I've got this oleo base, so it's sugar syrup that's got citrus oils in it, and it's from orange, lemon, and lime peel. And then it's got added lemon, lime, grapefruit, and blood orange juice. And it's in a process of milk clarifying really slowly. So I won't be using it tonight, because it's not. I could add. There's enough of it has gone through the clarifying process. I'll show it to you. It's a really nice sort of rose pink color. What does it look like on screen? It looks darker on screen, but it's like a really nice rose pink color. And I'll show you, because I can take this webcam off. You can see. Come here. Don't get seasick. The mixture that's going through the clarification, because it's had milk added to it. looks like strawberry milk, basically. And it clarifies into that really nice rose pink color. I'm interested in how it tastes after being milk clarified as well. So I'm going to experiment with that down the line. I was thinking of making the whiskey sour with that as a sweetener, because it's like sweetener. It's the sweetener and the fruit juice in one. I think I should. See, is I'm in a quandary. It's a quandary. I'm undecided as to. I was going to make at least 2 whiskey sours, and I hadn't decided whether to make like riffs on a whiskey sour, do something different. Like if I go through the ones just on the liquor.com website, they have some quite fascinating riffs on a whiskey sour. Would be very different drinks, a lot of these. So I'm just opening. So they've got one called the Gentleman and a Scholar. So, it's because this is all sponsored by Gentleman Jack Whiskey. I'm going to use Australian whiskies, starred whiskies. So I wouldn't call it a Gentleman and a Scholar. But so they've got the Gentleman Jack Whiskey, lemon juice, and then strawberry beer syrup. And they recommend, and this one has aquafaba rather than egg white for the frothiness. If you don't want, aquafaba is basically the liquid that comes off a tin of chickpeas or butter beans or something like that. You put it in a drink and it goes foamy. So a vegetarian or someone who's allergic to eggs or someone who just doesn't trust eggs might not like using raw egg yolk in a drink. You can substitute it with aquafaba. I think I'm out of focus again. Am I? Did I just fuck with the focus? I don't know. Megalich, you've been catching up on videos, watching at 2 times speed. Now it feels weird watching 1 time. Could I talk a little faster? I'm not that good at talking fast, actually. So, yeah. I'll try. Chris, got some water and potato salad, homemade. Nice. Nice. Oh, that does sound pretty good. So, yeah, this one, strawberry beer syrup. This is how they make strawberry beer syrup. Beer, equal parts beer and strawberry puree and sugar in a pot and heat until it's reduced. So it says 1 quart beer, 1 quart strawberry puree to 1 cup sugar. I don't know what quarts are. Fucking Americans and the imperial measures. Convert volume. Quarts. 1 quart is 4 cups. Okay, so it's 1 part sugar to 4 parts beer to 4 parts strawberry puree if you want to make a strawberry beer syrup. And then you reduce it to 1.5 quarts. So 2 quarts to 1.5. So you're reducing it by 25%. So you're putting it on heat in a pot, letting 25-30% of it, like 30% of it. You want about 30% of it to evaporate. And then that's your strawberry beer syrup, which I'm not going to make, but I'm slightly fascinated by strawberry beer syrup. You can go quarters and quarter of a gallon does not help me with what that means in real measurements. Stella, you are right. A lot of people don't like the flavor of aquafaba, and egg white has less of. Oh, thanks, Locust Trooper, by the way. I was a little fuzzy, and now I look worse. Okay, I think I accidentally changed something. Where's the fucking focus gone? Oh, I think that's better. Anyway. Real measurements, yes. Chris, you like making your head hurt when you measure things. I like it when the measurements mean something. So, yeah. So, so that's one interesting syrup they suggest, strawberry beer syrup. And then this one, the Alpenglow Aspro. So this is really weird. This is that talking about adding an Amaro to Whisky Sour, which is a bitter, traditionally it's Italian, but they make Amaro around the world, including Australia. So there's saying add an Amaro to a Whisky Sour, which is interesting. Now, the syrup they're talking about in this one, Concord grape and jasmine. This sounds fascinating. I might try and make this one at some point. They say combine 4 cups Concord grape juice, an 8-inch sprig of fresh rosemary, and a dried 1.5 square inch cube of crystallized ginger in a saucepan. And then you have that over low heat till the mixture's reduced. And so when it's reduced by half, so half of it's evaporated, add 1 teaspoon balsamic vinegar, and then keep going until it's reduced by half again, which they reckon will take about 10 minutes. And then add 1 handful of fresh jasmine flowers, take it off the heat and let it cool down, and then strain it. So you're straining out the jasmine flowers and the rosemary, etc., and the ginger. That sounds really, really interesting. I might try and make that one time or something like that. Gecko, got to go to bed. Must have just stayed up in time to say hi, mate. Enjoy your sleep and the day after. Yeah, Chris, that beer syrup's a new one on me too. So is this grape one. I'm fascinated by that, and I reckon I might try that one day. This one, Rock the Boat, which is a whiskey sour with banana liqueur. And I like banana liqueur in an old-fashioned. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. But their sweetener in this, there's orgeat, which is almond syrup, and they actually tell you how to make your own. So it's like, it says, toast 8 almonds at 350 degrees Fahrenheit on a baking sheet in the oven. Remove from the oven, blend them up, mush them up, soak in 16 ounces hot water for 10 minutes. Then you blend that mixture, and then you strain it through cheesecloth, and then add a 1/4 ounce cognac, 1/4 ounce amaretto, 1/8 teaspoon orange blossom water. And yeah, that's your almond-based sweetener at that point, orgeat. And that would be the fact that you've toasted the almonds. They're calling it a mesquite smoked orgeat. It would have a smoky flavor from the almonds being toasted in the oven. I mean, so that I'm probably not going to make that one, but it's interesting. And this one, the Santorini Sour. This one they actually recommend a pistachio syrup, which is like, and again, they've got a recipe: 4 ounces whole pistachios, 1 ounce chopped pistachios, 3 cups water, 1/2 cup sugar. Bring it to a boil. Let it sit. Strain it. Add 2 cups of sugar and stir until fully dissolved. Add a 1/4 ounce of rose flower water, 1/4 ounce orange blossom water, and 2 ounce cognac. And that's a pistachio syrup. But they also suggest adding Greek yogurt to this one in place of the egg white, because you normally put an egg white in to give it a sort of thickness and foaminess. This one's suggesting put a bit of Greek yogurt in there. Lecture, what do I think of white extremists saying China's going to make Chinese imperialist empire? They're fuckwits. They are absolute fuckwits. Dumb fuckwits with stupid fucking conspiracies. You know, I don't like the Chinese regime, but if they were expansionist, we'd all be fucked. They're not. They're mostly inwardly focused and really don't like being fucked with, which is not to say they don't deserve to be fucked with from time to time, because they do shitty things. But yes, anyone cooking up conspiracies about an expansionist China is a fucking moron. Megalich, an American cup is 236 mils, metric cup is 250 mils. Yeah, see, the important thing is the ratios, to recognize what the ratios are, because you can make a smaller or a bigger batch. Just recognize the ratios. There's a St. Catherine's Sound. This one, they actually suggest adding a herbal liqueur. It's one I haven't heard of, called a Braulio herbal liqueur, and a Crème de Frais de Bois, and that's a strawberry liqueur. This is also the ones, they have their acid-adjusted milk-washed sour mix, which I'm making. And yeah, so that's the oleo, add the juices. They say grapefruit, lemon, and orange. Mine's actually got grapefruit, lemon, lime, and blood orange. And then this is it. They've got the spurious instructions, like your milk, bring it to a boil and slowly pour into sour mixture. 2 points. You don't have to bring when you're doing milk clarifying stuff, although a lot of people say, oh, you've got to heat up the milk, or even boil. It's very rare someone says to boil the milk, but these guys say boil the milk. That is absolutely unnecessary. I've done heaps of experimentation with milk clarification. Warming the milk up is absolutely unnecessary. Second, you absolutely don't pour the milk into the sour mixture or the cocktail. If you're doing a milk clarified cocktail, you pour the mixture that's got the acid content, the citrus content, you pour that into the milk. It is better for the curdling process. And then they say allow it to sit and curdle for no less than 6 hours. Totally unnecessary again. 15-30 minutes is plenty of time for the curds to form. And then they say pour the mixture through a mesh strainer several times. Use the same milk curdle filled strainer until mixture is relatively clear. And then they also say add ascorbic acid to taste. I'm not going to bother. I've got citric acid up there in the cooking cupboard. But again, I'm just pouring it once, well, actually twice, I'm lying, through a coffee filter and getting this fantastically clear result. So their method is kind of shit. Like counting the things that are wrong. Boiling the milk, not necessary. Pouring it into the sour mixture, wrong. Allow it to sit for no less than 6 hours, not necessary. Pour it through a mesh strainer several times till it's relatively clear. Bullshit, you do it right and you put it through, it's like 1.5, it's not even 2 times, through the just a paper coffee filter, and you get this really brilliantly clear end result. So this is one time where I feel confident in saying they don't know what they're talking about. Taiwan is not expansion from China's point of view. China has believed for many, many years Taiwan is part of China, same as Hong Kong. So that does not count with some white supremacist fuckwit wanting to whip up hysteria about a Chinese global empire. It's shitty. I would side absolutely with the people of Taiwan, and I would absolutely side with the people of Hong Kong who don't want to be under China's control. But it does not play into the stupid conspiracy theories. Sunday morning sour. What's on this one? They say use honey and an acid-adjusted citrus. Now, see, this is one I might try because their citrus is half lemon juice, half lime juice. And they say, yeah, just put some dry curacao in there as well. I don't mind that as an idea. That sounds like an interesting mixer for cocktails. And then a really bizarre one, the Tepiatl Sour. So they call this an acid adjusted pineapple juice, which is just pineapple juice that's got a blend of citric, malic, and tartaric acid in it. Okay. But yeah, they have an interesting syrup in this one. They talk about a piloncillo syrup, and I looked that up. The piloncillo sugar is just an unrefined sugar. I've never actually seen piloncillo sugar in a shop, but there's lots of unrefined sugars, like I've got some demerara sugar I'm going to make something with. I've seen unrefined coconut sugar. I've made a sugar syrup with that. Unrefined sugars are very brown, and you tend to get a really rich flavor out of them, almost like molasses, which can be really good in drinks. But yeah, this one is like put cinnamon sticks in water, simmer for 45 minutes, strain and blend that with this raw sugar, unrefined sugar. And so then you've got a really rich cinnamon flavored sugar syrup, which is a pretty cool idea. I might do that one at one point. Chris, brown sugar is unrefined sugar. White sugar is bleached, basically. White sugar is bleached. Locust Trooper. See, the first part of what you've heard makes the rest of it irrelevant. White supremacists say they're worthless, brain-dead, hateful pieces of shit, and nothing they say is worth anything. So, there is conflict between China and Japan. Definitely, there is territorial water disputes, and lesser extent South Korea as well. But yeah, China and Japan have an adversarial relationship because, well, Japan has invaded China multiple times over the centuries and performed some most heinous acts at various points, notably, although not limited to, but notably in the lead up to World War II. Before Japan declared war on the rest of the world, they invaded China and committed some quite severe atrocities, actually. Not your mild atrocities, some really quite severe atrocities. So yeah. Oh, there you go, Chris. American. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. There's a difference. Brown sugar and unrefined sugar. You're absolutely right. Brown sugar is sugar with molasses, but unrefined sugar is just raw sugar that hasn't been bleached, so it's white. So yes, brown sugar is different to unrefined sugar. You're absolutely right there. So I've got a whole bunch of citrus fruit because I've actually used up most of my oleosaccharum on this milk clarified sweet and sour mix, which I'm very keen to try. So I'm going to make another batch of oleosaccharum. I got lemons and grapefruit and blood oranges. It'll be fun. Hellion, hello to you, Kirsten. Yeah, Locust Trooper, those things are atrocities. That's what I meant. The rape of Nanjing, they were raping and murdering and pillaging. They were Japanese Imperial Army pieces of shit. Alexa, hello to you. Oh, yeah, Chris, the Japanese were fucking barbaric in World War II. Bet there is some interesting history, Megaleech. Japan's failed attempted conquest of Korea. Yep, there's a lot of tension between the South Koreans and the Japanese as well. Lot of not getting on quite well with their neighbors in that part of the world. Tensions going always between Japan, Korea, and China. Hey Alexa, is what the same as Smokey? I'm missing something. Locust Troopers. Japan today is like everywhere. Some good people, some bad people. There are extreme right wingers in Japan who are fucking dangerous. Deny the war crimes of World War II. It's the equivalent of the pieces of shit in America who want to worship the Confederates and the slave owners. Absolutely deny history and wanting to revere war criminals, basically. That is a good question, Alexa. Are there parts in the world where neighbors do get along well? There's certainly tension in many, 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 many parts of the world. And in fact, honestly, the tension between China, Korea, and Japan is low key. I mean, the one that really springs to mind is the Middle East. But certainly there are some African nations that are really not on friendly terms with their neighbors. And there's tensions, centuries old tensions in Central and Eastern Europe as well. So you raise a fair point, Alexa. Zvan got in Australia and New Zealand. Fair bit of tension, very low key, more like sibling rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. That's a good call, Chris. Don't judge individuals, people, by country they live in. That way you will make terrible mistakes. Is one we don't just get angry over cricket with New Zealand. We get angry over pavlova with New Zealand as well. And every time a New Zealand film star, pop star, sports star sort of moves to Australia, Australia pretends they're Australians and New Zealanders get really pissed off. But yeah, with Australia and New Zealand, it's sibling rivalry. It's see Zvan going out there with the throwing down the gauntlet, saying it's established as a Kiwi dish. Not with any documentary evidence. It isn't. New Zealand is a great country. My one visit to New Zealand, the South Island, this is where you go when the apocalypse happens. This would be a great place to fucking wait out the collapse of society. Nintendo Lunchbox, good morning to Las Vegas. Alexa, you're again, Australia, New Zealand, making sure we join the rest of the world with neighbours conflict. You were disappointed in Morrison when he started deporting Kiwis who were jailed. I'm just generally disappointed in Morrison. He's a fucking piece of shit. Oh yeah, Locust Trooper. Do I have Japanese friends? I've obviously met Japanese people. Yeah, and my offspring are super into Japanese culture and are both learning Japanese, and they also, I'm surprised they haven't got more into Korea because they like K-pop more than J-pop. But both big, like their generation, the Zoomers, they very into Japanese culture, love the anime and the music. But Chris, you're just disappointed with everything in your country. Yeah, there's a lot of disappointing shit in the world. So Kirsten, I was interested in your input. I found out, I thought I'd made enough cocktail videos for the week because I made 3 on Friday night. I edited 2 of them, which is pretty good of me. But then I found out Tuesday's Whisky Sour day, and I can't let that go past because Whisky Sour is like my favorite cocktail. And but I was going to keep with the Australian theme and use soured whiskies. And I don't know if I should try and do a riff on whiskey sours. Like I said, the liquor.com site has a few proposed riffs. One's like with banana liqueur, and one suggests using an Amaro, and what was the other one? One suggests putting Greek yogurt in it, which I've never done. One suggests putting herbal and a fruit liqueur in. I could ask that. They say like an Italian herbal liqueur and a French strawberry liqueur. I could go Ocar Gold and Marionette's Creme de Mure. So I don't know whether to do riffs or just do. I've done a clarified New York sour on my channel. I was so happy with how that turned out. Eventually, when I got the right red wine to put in it, the whiskey, it was a clarified whiskey sour, and so I didn't have to add egg white because the way that gets added to the drink when you do the milk clarification foams up when you shake it. So the whiskey sour was a really light, bright yellow when it was clarified. And then when I shook it up, it got foamy. And then in a rocks glass with a big cube of ice in there, poured the whiskey sour, it's nice and foamy, and then really gently poured the red wine on top, and it floated perfectly. So I had this really clear delineation that was very photogenic with a yellow whiskey sour, the red wine, and the white foam on top. Oh my God, I was so happy with how that turned out. Yeah, so I don't know whether, like, my initial thought was I was going to compare, like, I was going to make a whiskey sour with twofold, like a blended whiskey, and then make one with either Fortis or that little Nova sample you sent me. So compare a whiskey sour with a blended whiskey and a single malt whiskey, and keep the comparison that simple, or go all out and do some of these variations, like, do the one with an Amaro, or do the one with banana, or do the one that has a herbal liqueur and a fruit liqueur in it. Think I should try the liqueur one? I think I should. That's a bit adventurous, isn't it? So, okay, they call that, for no apparent reason, a St. Catherine Sound. Why is this called? Okay, Kyle Law's riff on the whiskey sour is a crash course in cocktail history. Uses Jerry Thomas's classic sour template from 1862. In 1922, London barman Robert Vermeer wrote, "A few drops of egg improves all sours." Law followed this suggestion by milk washing. Okay, and I could use the milk wash sour mix, which I'm in the process of making, and I have enough of it now to do it. And for no apparent reason, he calls that a St. Catherine's Sound. And so that's like a body. So I need to come up with a name for this riff on a whiskey sour. Doors wide open. So if it's going to have the whiskey and a herbal liqueur, it'd be Ocar Gold, and creme de mure, the blackberry. That's blackberry, isn't it? Creme de mure. So, yeah, I need to come up with a name. Maybe it's not all Melbourne, but it's a lot of Melbourne. Mure. Yeah, it's blackberry. Mure is blackberry. So who's up for coming up with a name? Locust Trooper. Dog meat is. I don't think cat meat's much of a thing. Dog meat is a bit of a thing in China. But you get a lot of people who think eating any meat is bad, and they think the way people in some Western countries say, like, we can eat cows and pigs and sheep and chickens and fish and nothing else. For instance, in France and some other parts of Europe, horse meat's very popular. But in other countries, the concept of eating horse meat is just horrible. And yes, if people in Western countries hear about someone eating dogs, they tend to go, ugh. But yeah, some other people will go, I don't see how that's worse than anything else. So yeah, it's an interesting argument. Is there any validity to saying eating this animal's okay, but eating this animal's not okay? I don't know. Chris the Sour Australian. Yes, it is that. I might even not bother naming it. I'll just call the because I want to make two. I'll just call the video, Whiskey Sour riffs. And I'll mention this is inspired by one called the St. Catherine's Sound. And I've just gone with different different ingredients. Yeah, I mean, one of these recipes actually suggests using coconut milk in the sour. That's fascinating to me. I think I have some coconut milk handy. Let me check. Chris, you are right. Industrialized meat production is absolutely horrible. But mind you, commercial fishing is bad for the ocean too. The fish farms, where they concentrate all the fish. I'm not saying you're eating stuff from fish farms, but I've seen some stuff about fish farms where they have this big netting thing where thousands of fish, and this is in the ocean, this is in the open ocean, where thousands of fish are contained. And instead of the fish going everywhere they go, the fish are all in place and they all shit in one place. And it does weird, terrible things to the ocean floor below them. Nintendo Lunchbox, you're a dog groomer, but you agree dogs are protein. I'm not going to eat dogs and say I'm a hypocrite. Again, it's conditioning. It's nothing but social. It's nothing but social conditioning. If someone said, "Do you want to have this horse meat?" I'd go, "No, fuck off." Someone said, "Do you want this dog meat?" You're going to fuck off. Is this dolphin meat? No, fuck off. But from a particular perspective, there's no moral difference between piggies, cows, sheep, chickens, and these other animals. Alexa, is snake farming a thing to get venom? A lot of touristy things like the reptile zoo and whatnot do actually regularly milk the snakes for venom. So in Australia, it's the CSL, the Commonwealth Serum Laboratory, can actually develop antivenin. I'm not sure that anyone raises snakes specifically for venom milking, but I know there are zoos that regularly provide venom for the labs to make antivenin. Chris, you live by the Oregon coast, so fish at local restaurants caught sustainably. Nice. But you're almost a vegetarian at home, too nervous to cook your own. Oh. Whatever works for you, man. Yeah, like a stripper. If there were guys who were assholes in high school who just screamed at Asian kids, "You eat dogs and cats," those guys were, in fact, assholes. They absolutely were assholes. Oh, thanks, Alexa. If they like the video, thank you very much. And don't forget the Angry Cocktails channel either. All right, so I reckon of all these wild and crazy things, which ones will I... Coconut milk, that's what I was going to look into. Do I still have coconut milk? Coconut milk, coconut milk. Oop, yep, there it is. All right, coconut milk. I'm going to do a coconut milk. That's the two I'm going to make. I'm going to make a sour with coconut milk in it. And I'm going to do a riff on the St. Catherine's Sound. Nice. I'm going to do that. Kirsten, you are aware of actual snake farms. Okay, that's cool. Crocodile farms are a thing. Northern Territory has heaps of crocodile farms. The crocodiles are farmed for meat and leather. They can make quite a lot of money with crocodile leather. The crocodile farms are wild because they've just got hundreds of crocodiles in these big pools, which is quite disconcerting to see. You just have this, if you're like me, you just have this image of I'm going to fall in and the crocodiles are going to get me. Dodgy, okay. I wondered what you meant by doggy. Dodgy, no, you spelled it right. Dodgy. That's how I spelled dodgy anyway. Chris, you can survive the Holocaust on rice and tofu. Yep. Beans and rice. All right, I am going to... Oh, I don't even have my camera here. I wasn't that organized. I was running a bit late this time. I just got to duck out and get my camera and audio recorder. Get my tripod, get my camera. Just set this up. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Oh, and I want to bloody close this blind behind me to get rid of the reflections. Alright, let's go on here. Bloody hell. So annoying that this thing's falling apart as well, so I don't have a nice backdrop. But I can't be asked doing anything about it. Okay. So. Because she tried all the meats. Snake, alligator, elk, bear. Woof, that's wild. I was in Darwin. What did I try? I tried crocodile, buffalo, emu, kangaroo, camel. I think that was it. I think that was everything. They have all the wild stuff in Darwin. Ooh, yeah, Alexa, mushrooms are a very good meat substitute. Mushrooms are just very good. Yes, Locust Trooper, you are highlighting a really stupid racist on YouTube there. Kirsten, you like buffalo and camel? I think I thought they were okay. It was a long time ago. I just remember the crocodile I had was really rubbery, and I thought maybe this is just badly prepared. Ooh, stuffed mushrooms. Yes, I'm a big fan of stuffed mushrooms, Chris. Kangaroos are very red meat, very lean, hardly any fat. Taste-wise is very gamey. It's a very strong flavor. And last I had it, I didn't like it because the flavor was too strong. If you like stuff like venison, deer, you'd probably like kangaroo as well. Emu. I think I maybe had emu as well. Kirsten, you reckon Croc's no good? Yeah, I was not sure if it was just badly prepared, the one I had. But yeah. Chris, bear was gamey. Yeah, without knowing anything about it, my immediate assumption is bear would be really gamey. Because you were surprised at how spicy emu was. See, I don't have clear I know I ate all these things. I don't really have any clear memory of what. Because this is 30 years ago. This is literally 30 years ago? 25, 30 years ago. So I don't fucking remember. I'm old. Sorry. And my brain doesn't work so good anymore. I forget things. Okay, so how much? Sorry, I'm just checking how much coconut milk this one suggests. Half ounce. More than I expected. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a half ounce of coconut milk. All right, and I got to get some. Okay, got to start getting stuff together for these videos. I'll put this blood orange juice back in the fridge. Ridgy Didge. Sugar syrup. Right, you bloody well, right. Okay. I'm going to make one with twofold and one with Fortis. And, okay, so I want my creme de mure and Ucard Gold. Where's the creme de mure? It's hiding back there. There we go. Mure. Not creme de mure, it's mure. Blackberry. It's so dark. It's the thing they say on the website, light does not penetrate our mure. It does not. Light does not penetrate it. Okay. Did I think I put glasses to chill. I did. I'm a fucking genius. I planned ahead. I got ice there. I don't have my shaker. It's just here. Right. You bloody well right. My jigger. Where my jigger's at? All right, I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod. Oh, what am I doing? All right. So now, got my jigger. Right. Put that there. So this is my milk clarified sweet and sour. What's it taste like? Interested in what it tastes like. It tastes really good. Tastes really good. Yum. Oh, that tastes really good. All right, so I need eggs too. Okay. Eggs. Everybody has eggs. Eggs. Eggs, yeah. You've seen Kingsman with the character Eggs, yeah. Right. All right, let's get a little bit sorted. So, 2 Oz, 1 Oz. One Oz. Right. Nintendo Lunchbox. That's the old school. Hill88 and Natalie Tran. I like that. Person, camera, TV. Yes. Okay. I just see what we're doing there with the weird Trump thing. Oh, I see. We're talking about the Microsoft Flight Sim. That's not a game I play. You got a call to tell at least you didn't miss the whole stream like Friday night. We were up for 5 hours on Friday night. Friday night was a 5-hour marathon. All right, so I'm ready. I'm going to make a riff, 1.5 ounce. I'll just get the sweetness from the liqueurs. That sounds like a good idea. Right. All right, the only question is, which one should I do the Fortis in? One's going to be like a standard whiskey sour with 1/2 ounce of coconut milk to see what that tastes like. And the other one's going to be the one that's a whiskey sour with the herbal liqueur and the fruit liqueur. And the milk clarified sweet and sour mix. You watched it 2 times, Mega Leech. Oh, yes, Kirsten, yes. Waking up to things that were bought on the stream, you and Annette both. Yes. God, Stella, you're on a call for 5 hours. God damn. Okay. All right, thanks, Chris. Thanks for dropping by. Catch you later. All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to make these. I'm going to do the Fortis with the liqueurs because I think it's a little bit beefier and will hold its own against the liqueurs. And I'll do twofold with the coconut. 1/2 ounce of coconut milk. And egg whites. Alrighty, I think I'm ready to go. Yeah. God, remember, I got to dry shake it. So don't put ice in it yet. Adjust my camera. All right. How's that looking? I just got to test my camera. I think that. Oh yeah, that's good. I'll do this so you can see me being silly making the video. Okay, so I'm ready to go. I've got it lined up. Right, switch everything on. Yes, we're going. We're rolling. Rolling. The camera is a rolling. Okay. G'day, cocktail lovers. I hope you've been keeping well. Got some interesting things planned this week. In fact, very Australian ingredient heavy this week, trying to support local producers in these all sorts of people, losing their jobs or having their jobs suspended, people at school and university in turmoil as well. And obviously, one of the hardest hit areas is hospitality, restaurants, cafes, bars, clubs, etc. And so, yeah, opportunities to help someone out. Let's do it. So I've been upping the amount of Australian ingredients for cocktails I buy, and I've made a bunch of videos that were all Australian centric. And then I found out that Tuesday was Whisky Sour Day after I'd made 3 other videos. Well, Whisky Sour is pretty much my favorite cocktail. Plus, you can do all sorts of riffs on it. So, and of course, a whiskey sour is at least slightly different when you use different whiskies with it. Bourbon is a common one for it. Rye is going to make it a bit spicier. Scotch is less common, although it can be very interesting. A whiskey sour made with a peated Scotch can be quite an experience. I'm going to be making them with Australian whiskies from the Starwood distillery. And the site that tipped me off that Whisky Sour was coming up is the very useful liquor.com. And they had a whole bunch of riffs they recommended. It's particularly interesting, the different sweeteners they were suggesting, basically custom syrups. And I had a go at making one of those, and the additions and riffs. And so I'm going to do 2 non-standard whiskey sours, variations I've never tried to make before. So I'm very keen to see how they turn out. One is going to be a pretty standard whiskey sour with the addition of coconut milk. I was quite fascinated by this one suggesting coconut milk. The other one I almost tried was one where they suggested using Greek yogurt in place of the egg white to make it frothy. This one with the coconut milk also has egg white, and I'm going to show you that now. The whiskey I will be using is twofold. Starwood's blended whiskey, and if you, it's probably really hard to get this outside of Australia, but in terms of if there's an Australian who's interested in this, this is probably the best value entry-level Australian whiskey. It's very smooth. It goes really well either by itself or in cocktails. I've made old fashions with this, Manhattan and whiskey sours, and it goes great. So for this whiskey sour, I'm going to start with 2 ounces of the Starwood twofold. You, of course, use your whiskey of choice. There are a lot of different views on how much lemon juice and how much sweetener you should put into your whiskey sour. Some people you should use the same amount. Others disagree. I'm going to use the same amount. I'm going to be using 1 ounce of lemon juice. And 1 ounce of a sugar syrup that I've made, an oleosaccharum, which I've mentioned before. You make an oleosaccharum by peeling your citrus and putting it in a bowl, covering it with sugar. The sugar leaches the citrus oils out of the peel and absorbs them. You can accelerate this process by muddling the sugar into the citrus peel. You don't have to if you're willing to wait a day or so for the process. And then you add water. This one was made with lemon and lime and I think blood orange peel from memory. And so it's a sugar syrup that has a nice citrus zing to it. So I'm also adding 1 ounce of the sugar syrup. I'm also adding 1 egg white. Some people have an aversion to egg white. There's a product you can get called Wonder Foam that you just put a couple of drops in and it foams up. You can use aquafaba, which is the water you get that like of a can of chickpeas or butter beans. That has a stronger flavor that some people don't like. And also liquid whey, which if you've ever seen me do a milk clarified drink, the milk clarification process adds whey to the drink. And if you shake a drink with whey in it, it foams up, much like egg white. But I'm going to add an egg white. I'll actually probably add this off camera to avoid any disasters of separating my egg white and yolk. Finally, the only really unusual element to this sour, I'm borrowing from a riff I saw called the Sunday Morning Sour. It's 1/2 ounce of coconut milk. Never tried this, so I'm very keen to see what difference that makes. First up, going to do a dry shake, which is shaking without egg white. Sorry, without ice. This is to get the egg white to foam up nicely. People would say it's to emulsify the egg white. It means to make it foamy. One interesting thing, if you're doing this, a dry shake in whatever sort of shaker with no ice, the coldness of the ice usually helps keep the parts of your shaker together. I regularly have a problem with dry shakes. If you're not careful, if you're not holding it well, there's like an expansion in there and it can sort of blow the two apart and make a mess. So you do need to be a little careful that your shaker doesn't come apart when you're doing the dry shake. But I'm going to give it a good hard shake for like 10, 15 seconds. The thing I was warning you about, the blowing apart, absolutely was threatening to happen to me halfway through that shake. I had to adjust my hold so it didn't go everywhere. But I've added some ice now to chill the drink. And now we do the wet shake, enough to get it good and cold. Again, 15, 20 seconds. Now I have my rocks glass or old-fashioned glass, been chilling in the freezer, got a nice big cube of ice in there. Going to strain the drink in. A drink with egg white is a good one to double strain because you might get some globby bits that haven't really blended in, and it'll be a much nicer drink. Also, there might be bits of eggshell in there, depending how good you are at separating the egg white and egg yolk. So it's always a good idea to double strain a drink with egg white. And there we have it, a Sunday morning sour, your traditional whiskey sour with half an ounce of coconut milk in there as well. Let's see what difference that maybe makes. I'm a fan, I have to admit. As I said, whiskey sour is one of my all-time favorite cocktails. I really enjoy whiskey sour. There's a little bit of coconut flavor. It's not dominating. The whiskey and the lemon is still quite strongly in there, but you can feel the coconut in there as well. And it's just a nice little creamy flavor going in there. This is... Now I could see myself doing this one more than once. And again, if you have a friend who's a bit averse to a whiskey sour, this might be a good way to get them on the whiskey sour train with a little bit of coconut milk. It's just that bit creamier, and it's still a very whiskey focused drink, but it's not as dominant. I definitely recommend it. Your whiskey sour with half an ounce, 15 mils of coconut milk. Okay, now I have to do a bunch of cleaning to make the next one. So I'm going to be off screen for 30 seconds while I rinse everything. Talk among yourselves. Why do I have the Muppet Show thing stuck in my head? I don't know, but I do. Let's go. It's the top of the shaker. It's the gear. All right. Quick presto changeo cleano. Back for round two. Back for round two. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright. To quote one M. McConaughey. Alright. My hands are wet. I'll wipe them on my butt. Okay, so this one, the St. Catharines Sound, is whiskey with my milk washed sour mix and 1/4 ounces of the liqueurs. Okay, and we'll give that a go. 2 ounce, 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not difficult, lemon difficult. Okay. Oh, cheers. Round two of the whiskey sour. Going to go with the 100 proof Starward Fortis whiskey. Single malt, not peated. Starward don't do peated whiskies bit of trivia. The people behind Starwood are very focused on local sourcing and sustainability. There is no peat in Victoria, so that's why they don't do peated whiskies. This is the newest addition to their range. Very tasty. I often wonder if it sounds like these are sponsored. I wish Makers was sponsoring me. No, I just like supporting them. So this one, I'm looking at the name of it again. Catherine Sound is the really weird name given to this riff, but this is quite a divergence from a standard whiskey sour. It's got quite a few additions, and I'll explain them. But I'm going to start with our standard part, 2 ounces of the Starwood Fortis whiskey going in. Oh, you absolute fucking clown. I put that in the wrong glass. Jesus. It's a mixed drink now. Okay. The people who watch on YouTube or on the cocktail channel will never know that I did something that dumb, and I'm going to move that glass so I don't do it again. Oh, man. I'm going to be so drunk at the end of this. Shit. Okay. What the hell? Right. The sweetener in this one is something new to me. In fact, this is a combination of the citrus and the sweetener. The site called this, they were calling it a milk-washed citrus sour drink. What it basically is, it's starting with the oleosaccharum as a base, and then adding more fruit juices to it, and then going through a milk clarification process. The juices I added were some lemon, some grapefruit, and some blood orange. And the very strong color of the blood orange has led to this really quite nice pink. It's like a sweet and sour mix, basically. A pretty sophisticated sweet and sour mix. And I did do a cheeky taste test of it, and it does taste quite nice. The recipe just calls for 1/2 ounce of this going into the drink. The recipe also called for 1/4 ounce of a herbal liqueur and 1/4 ounce of a fruit liqueur. And I'm riffing a bit. I'm not using the ones suggested by the recipe. I'm using ones that I have and I like. And the herbal liqueur, still on the Australian front, this is Okar Gold. It's very similar to like yellow chartreuse or herbal liqueurs along that line. It's really good, and I'm just putting 1/4 ounce in. And for the fruit liqueur, I'm going with another local Marionette's Mur, a blackberry liqueur. And it is a very dark blackberry liqueur. Again, 1/4 ounce of this going in. And once again, I'm going to add an egg white and double strain it into a chilled rocks glass. Ugh, egg white all over my hands, just gotta wash them. Once more, the dry shake with no ice. Don't let your shaker fly apart. Be very careful. fucker. Oh, it's trying to... Oh, you fuck. It's trying to do it to me. Add the ice, shake for another 15, 20 seconds. Okay, that's actually too cold to hold now, so that's enough. God damn. God damn, god damn. Yeah, it's really cold. Right. Whatevs. That's it. Ugh. You can see, because I use the rather dark blackberry liqueur, it's a deep purple. I'm not sure how well the colour's coming across. It's, well, unsurprisingly, with the combination of the whiskey, it's a slightly browny purple colour. It is a very interesting berry-looking concoction, actually. Maybe I could have one of these work and convince people it's a fruit smoothie, because that's kind of what it looks like. But what does it taste like? Oh, first thing I notice, slightly unsurprising because I'm using the higher proof Fortis whiskey. This one is a lot more whiskey forward than the other one I made that A, had a lower proof whiskey in it, and B, had the creamy coconut milk in it to soften it a bit. Kind of interested now in the idea of making the coconut milk one with the Fortis. No, I'll do that another time, maybe in my own time. But this one, even with the other liqueurs, because there's only a small amount of them in there, this one's much more whiskey focused. And also because I actually know the milk clarified sweet and sour mix I made is much less sweet than sugar syrup. And I didn't put any sugar syrup in. I relied on the sweet and sour mix and the liqueurs to add sweetness. So this is less sweet than a lot of whiskey sours are. And yeah, obviously for some people, that's going to be a recommendation. If you try and follow that recipe to make this one and you do prefer slightly sweeter drinks, I'd recommend just a really small amount, like maybe 10 mils, like less than half an ounce, less than a quarter of an ounce of sugar syrup, like a bar spoon or two of sugar syrup. If you want it slightly sweeter, I really wouldn't go more than that because it has really quite nice character. Like I said, the recipe I saw recommended a strawberry liqueur, and I used a blackberry liqueur, and it recommended this Italian Amaro herbal liqueur, and I used Ocar Gold. It's a fun thing. I think when you see recipes, when you're learning, it's good to follow them down the line. But once you start learning a bit more and experimenting in your home bar environment, I think it's really quite good to use recipes as a starting point. You can see the ratios are in there. And I literally just went, oh, they're saying a herbal liqueur and a fruit liqueur. I don't have the ones they recommend, but I have a herbal liqueur and a fruit liqueur that I like. I'm going to experiment with that. I think the experiment has worked. You know, the blackberry's coming through, and it's actually a nice contrast to have a slightly less sweet whiskey sour. Like I said, that brings the whiskey a bit more to the fore. But no, seriously, if you've never had a whiskey sour, if you've never made whiskey sours, I thoroughly recommend you get around it. It's been one of my favorites for quite a while. Try not to be put off by the egg white. I understand if you're actually vegetarian or if you have allergies or somewhat to eggs. People always go, well, no, salmonella. 2 points. Well, one, you can actually get cartons of pasteurized egg white from most supermarkets, and I do use that sometimes. Second, as long as there's not gross stuff on the outside of the egg, and if there is, wash it. In Australia particularly, I think it's very low risk of contracting anything from eggs. And I think the alcohol is a pretty good disinfectant as well. Although, again, not a scientist or a doctor, so really don't hold me to that. But I've never been bothered by egg white in cocktail. I've been doing it for years, and it's never once made me sick. I do thoroughly recommend, whether it's a whiskey sour, rum sour, whatever, definitely some egg white is the way to go, is a great addition to the drink. Not absolutely necessary, but I think it's much better with it. That's my recommendation. And I hope maybe, this whiskey sour day, seeing how easy it is to do riffs on a whiskey sour, has maybe inspired you to try something along those lines. I'd love to hear of any experiments you do or things you have done in the past that you've enjoyed. It's always fun to experiment and share. I will be back again soon to share a few more cocktails with you. Until then, I hope you take care. Cheers. Okay. Right, switching things off. Okay, I got to sort a couple of things. Oh, I've got drinks everywhere now. Hurrah for me. Drops in there. I'll put these egg yolks in the fridge. Might make French toast with them. Or Mrs. Angry might use it as a dessert. Okay. I get some shit out of the way so I can operate. Rinse, wash my hands. Oh, right. Almost done. I don't want to bring this around and sort it out. Got to continue with my milk. Oh, eggshells. Put them in the compost container. All right. Ugh. And I might relax my vest right now because I finished making the videos. Whew. Okay. What did you crazy kids get up to while I was gone? Oh, look, I forgot to do that. Got to do this. Alexa, I was making videos for my cocktail channel. Oh. Yes, Megaleech, how is everyone? How's everyone doing? Stella spent the day cleaning the house for a friend coming to visit. So you're a bit grumpy. Hopefully the friend's visit is good and makes it worthwhile. The whole cleaning thing, which I'm not a fan of. Finishing my milk clarification of my sweet and sour. Classy sweet and sour mix. Whew. Okay. Now I have several whiskey sours to drink. Coconut milk one. Oh my God, that's so sweet. I think I need to drink the less sweet one first. Mm. Mm. Yeah, maybe. Although I have to admit, I want to try the coconut milk one with the Fortis. Maybe Fortis lends itself more to a less sweet drink anyway. You got a pretty serious whiskey taste coming through. Estelle, I'm with you completely. I hate housework. It's your sissy. You always have good times. Well, that's something good to look forward to. So the grunginess of housework, which I also disapprove. I do not endorse housework. It sucks. Even simple shit like keeping the fucking dishwasher turning over. Find yourself going, I have to do it again, but I did it yesterday. Where is this coming from? Why do you people insist on eating? Why are people eating? Why don't you just stop? Why don't you stop eating because you make dirty stuff when you eat? For God's sake, show some restraint. Eat less. And that's, one of the easiest bits of housework there is, just stacking and unpacking the dishwasher. Still makes me sort of go, ugh, when you do it. But yes, if you really go to town and have to like vacuum and mop and put stuff away and shit like that, that'll fucking get you down, that sort of shit. But, we soldier. I don't know if anyone noticed what I was complaining about, the dumb thing I did halfway through. My drink I'd been having in my blood orange and lemonade drink, I accidentally put the whiskey in here when I was making the whiskey sour because it was next to my mixing kit. And I was like, okay, well, fuck that. And because it wasn't empty, it still had like the blood orange drink in there. So I couldn't use it. I drink all this before bed. I'm going to be really fucking drunk. Alexa, you put on headphones, listen to something. Yes. Listen to music detached from your body while you're doing the housework. Yes. So still, yeah, you did pick up. Yeah, no, I fucking idiot. I had that glass next to my cocktail shaker and I just put the whiskey straight into it. It's like, fuck. Like if it had been empty, that would not have been a problem because I would have just poured it into the cocktail shaker. But it wasn't empty. So, fuck. Stella, your kids resist it. Kids always resist doing any form of housework. Kids act like it's some horrible crime against humanity if they're asked to do stuff. So it's the thing. Yeah, Stella, clothes as well. Yes, having to do fucking laundry every week. Need to be naked and eat less. That's the fucking answer. Far less housework if we just don't eat clothes. There'd be less housework if we did eat clothes. Actually, maybe that's the solution. Eat less food and just eat the dirty clothes. And yes, I can't actually see a flaw in that plan. I would think. Annette, you want new music in your world so you can stand to do housework. What music do you like, Annette? I do like, again, this is not necessarily applicable to you. I don't know if you use any of the music streaming services. I got YouTube Premium a while back, and there's a music service that comes with that. So I regularly listen to YouTube Music on my phone, and it learned that I like indie stuff. So the new releases section of that is usually only showing indie new releases, and I do find some good new music that way. Annette, you like Witch House? Fair enough. And yes, I'm also one of the people who doesn't know what that is. I find there is some particularly good pop and hip hop coming out of Australia in the last couple of years, particularly like young female artists in Australia are doing some really good stuff. But it's people like Thelma Plum and Amy Shark and Alex the Astronaut and Montaigne. And if I look what's on things I've been playing on YouTube Music, what shows up on new releases? Alex the Astronaut, The Killers, which I might listen to at some point. Wafia, I'm not that into. But if I look at what it picks for my mix, okay, because I try and mix it up, and occasionally I'll go through things where it's like, I'm going to listen to 80s music for a while so it remembers I like that. And I'm going to listen to some fucking industrial music so it knows I like that. And then some new stuff. And so I get a real mix. So this mix that it's self-selected based on other things I listen to, it's got the Pixies, Monsters and Men, MGMT, more Pixies, White Stripes, Real Big Fish, Echo and the Bunnymen, Sixpence None the Richer, Tears for Fears, Briggs. That's new Australian hip hop. Briggs has been doing some really good stuff. Block Party, Briggs again, Less Than Jake, Joy Division, Medusa, Two Door Cinema Club, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, The Cure, Weezer. So it's actually pretty good at picking up stuff I'm listening to. But if you ever like, no, it's not playing a diverse enough mix. You just do things like I find another Australian artist I listen to, Brendan McLean. Just got to listen to a few Brendan McLean tracks, and it will make my playlist much gayer. But then, if I pull out a couple like Amy Shark or Thelma Plum or TK Maidza, and then it'll have more new young pop in there, and it's actually pretty good at learning. So I quite like the YouTube Music app, actually. So and I mean, some people rag on it, but I really quite enjoy Triple J's playlist, so I often find new music from there. Holy cow, Kirsten, you've been industrious. Deep cleaned your washing machine, stripped the build-up off all the towels and sheets. God damn. Stella, no music that makes housework bearable. You're listening to 30s, 40s, and 50s music today, which always makes you bop as you used to swing dance. Yeah, fucking housework. The shared house I was in the 90s, we'd do once or twice a year a deep clean of the house, and everyone would be on speed, and we would play this industrial, usually Ministry or Revolting Cocks at a really loud volume, and just spend like 6 hours intensely cleaning. That was a bit of an adventure. So because you were bored, lots of music listened, some podcasts. I've been trying to catch up on, because I haven't been listening to the podcast, catch up on the Blind Boy podcast, Behind the Bastards. And there's a couple others I need to remember. It's really weird. When I was at work in the office, just to blank everyone out, I would have my headphones in all the time, listening to music or podcasts while I work. But at home, I don't have to blank anyone out. So I'm not listening to as much music or podcasts. I have to remind myself that you should listen to a podcast or some music while you work. But yeah, I find even just the dishwasher thing, if I remember occasionally, like, this will go faster if I'm listening to music. Yes, Annette, we're of a similar ilk, knowing Ministry. I think it was we would listen to like Ministry, Psalm 69, or the Revolting Cocks, Beers, Steers and Queers album. and just cranked, and we would clean thoroughly for success. Annette, you're full of Muscat and Baileys. I am full of fucking whiskey. I soon will be. That is an interesting one. Doing the stronger Fortis whiskey with less sweetener in it is really tasty, but focuses more on the whiskey because it's a sweetener. Whereas this one, which has both the milder whiskey and is much sweeter. Oh my god, this is so much sweeter. I think I definitely want to try though the Fortis with the coconut milk. Music David, you've got through far less podcasts this year. You used to run several podcasts at work. Mostly one important one being an airline news podcast, 4 weeks behind. Yeah, and because I used to listen to podcasts while commuting, and I don't commute. Yeah, see, Kirsten, you know that one too, speed cleaning. I've not done it since the 90s, I don't think. But it was just so funny. We would just be like, spring cleaning day, pa-pow! And yeah, we would just fucking go for it. Locust Trooper, finishing KFC Feast Zinger Burger, 3 dinner rolls, popcorn chicken, 4 original. Jesus, dude, die happy, dude. Oh man, I'm not one to judge, man. On Saturday night for date night, we got food, and I got it for the whole house, not just for me and Mrs. Angry, for my offspring as well, from a place called a convention center, events thing called Quatta. It's from this weird little street called Quatta Lane, and they normally do weddings and events like that. But so now they do the normal cooking they will do, and you can order it online, and it's really good. So I had this gnocchi with mushroom truffle sauce, which is fucking glorious, and also some popcorn chicken on the side. Their popcorn chicken is fucking glorious, and a dessert. Mrs. Angry had fish and mashed potato and greens and a dessert. The offspring had steak and a potato thing and popcorn chicken. And so we were fucking pigging out, man. And for what it is, like, it's really good quality food. It's comparatively cheap as well. Probably not as cheap as KFC, but much better. It's good. Okay, I'm really fucking sold on Whisky Sour with half an ounce of coconut milk in it. I definitely another. Oh, the fucking stove started buzzing. I don't know if you can hear it, but it annoys the shit out of me. So I'm just going to get up for a second and touch it. This guy, he haven't had days off since mid-March. You want to put him for leave? I understand that. I say I'm just going to fucking hit the button on this stove to stop it buzzing. Actually, fun, relatively new track. Briggs, an Indigenous rapper who I'm quite fond of, did a track with Tim Minchin, the musical comedy guy, called House Fire. You can find it on YouTube and stuff. It's good. It's this really fun, upbeat thing about being in quarantine, being in isolation, basically. Actually, on that note, Hilltop Hoods have one. I think it's called I'm Okay or I'm All Right. I'll look it up quickly because it's really good. It's about feeling weird and fucked up by Corona. Hilltop Hoods. I'm good. Okay. Yeah, that's a fun one. They released that a couple months ago, like right in the early stages of the Rona. Hilltop Hoods. I'm good. It's great. Like, I'm good. I'm okay. just like it's good about like no, it's weird and I feel strange actually. All right, I'm gonna put my ice from these drinks into this. Oh, that's cool. Be like that. I would have thought you've melted a bit more than that. There we go. You go in there too. And I'll add a bit more lemonade on top. Oh, it's fucking bedtime. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something else. I'm going to not drink that. I'm going to carbonate it next live stream. Time to fucking think laterally. Put it in here. Oh, because I bought this new toy. Like an improvement on the soda stream, you can carbonate anything. So rather than drink, because it's almost fucking bedtime, rather than drink another fucking double overproof whiskey just before bedtime, I'm gonna drink it another time. Gonna take care not to fucking wipe myself out. No, I would, yeah. Oh, Jesus, I would have been really wiped out if I forced myself to drink. Plus, too much volume liquid-wise, and I'd be up in the middle of the night taking a piss, which probably half the time I do that anyway. But I always feel good when I wake up in the morning and, oh, I didn't have to get up to take a piss last night. Excellent planning on my part. Because sleep's always really disruptive. I'm never really sure. Actually, sometimes I am really sure. Like I wake up going, oh my God, I've got to piss now. But sometimes I wake up and I'm lying there going, how do I go back to sleep? And I go, oh, I vaguely need to piss. And I don't think I can stop thinking about it and go back to sleep. Like I feel like I could sleep and sleep through to morning with no drama, but I can't stop thinking about needing to piss. So I'm just going to get up and piss. And then, of course, your sleep's disrupted. And it's like, fuck, okay, cool. Why not? Why not indeed? So, yeah, I would definitely have to get up and piss. Ooh, nice. Kirsten, hot buttered gin by Patient Wolf. Nice. Annette, there is no word on AIDSy. I've tried. So I think he doesn't have a working phone. So I've tried a couple times to reach AIDSy. And I think I'll try his boyfriend and say, does he have a working phone? Because I think he doesn't have a working phone because he's not answering anything. Like a strip of my biggest feast. I tend to... sometimes you go to restaurants and you actually get a multi-course thing. Some Indian places do really good feasts like that. Some Asian places do really good things. I also have to admit, like when we have a big takeout night here, like for an Italian place, get a pizza and garlic bread and pasta and just fucking go nuts. It's one of the burger places I go to. We've got a burger and they have like popcorn chicken and chips and or even just not even do this, places that just do big burgers and chips, and just at the end of it go, oh my God, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. But I do. I eat the whole thing because I'm a fat bastard. And I'm happy. So that's what it comes down to. I reckon the biggest one I can remember, Locust Trooper, was it was an Asian place and it was multi-course, and I'd kind of forgotten how many courses it was. And I think at about 4 or 5 courses, I was thinking, these are really small and I feel like they're ripping us off. I'm still going to be hungry at the end. And then it got to 6 courses and I'm like, no, I'm actually full. How many more is coming? And it was 10 courses and I ate every fucking course. Like it was a small amount each time. But like I said, at 5 or 6, I was going, this is kind of small. I feel like I'm being ripped off. And then it gets to 7 or 8, and I'm going like, I am fucking full. How much more of this? And there was 10 courses. Fucking ate all of them. And like I said, it's a little bit each time, but it fucking adds up when there's 10 little bits. The 10th was dessert. No, actually, there were 2 desserts. Yeah, 2 of the courses were dessert. And I was just like, oh, I was so fucking full at the end. And it's just like, no regrets at all. Not holding me. I was going to say, Kirsten, rum is the one thing that you're not that well versed in. I was wondering if there was a Melbourne rum maker or Victorian rum maker who makes white rum, because I need a white rum. I want to just get Bacardi. Glen's white rum. That looks dodgy as fuck. $27. That's got to be dodgy as fuck. Glen's white rum. Select. Inspired by Caribbean traditions. Rum-believable flavor notes. As soon as I opened the bottle, I could pick pineapple and coconut aromas. Drinking neat. I could taste a subtle hint of vanilla, followed by sweetness of sugar, lingering warmth, making it a perfect sipping spirit during cooler winter months. Glen's white rum is an all-rounder, affordable addition to any bar. It's a perfect mix of a pina colada because of the hints of pineapple and coconut. Also great for classic daiquiri. Pairs well with cola. That's just suspiciously cheap. And I searched Australia, but I don't really know. Inspired by Caribbean traditions, rich warmth, spirit. I can't see a thing. Seeing if it's Australian, but that just seems very suspicious to me. Like, that's fucking rot. Jimmy Rum. Thank you, Kirsten. Jimmy Rum. Jimmy Rum, a premium Australian craft rum distillery. Rum. Oh, yeah, you've told me this one before. Rum, respect, rambunctiousness. Yes. Ooh, they've got a fucking navy white rum. Fucking hell. Oh, god damn. Oof. 57. Okay, I'll take that under advisement. And their standard silver rum is 85. Is what ABV is? Jimmy drinks his neat. No ice, no mixing, no mucking around. Jimmy Rum, we don't judge though, so drink how you like it. Oh, yeah. So you got to be fucking patriotic. What's the ABV though, guys? Okay, Jimmy Rum could be the go. Because fucking everything's fucking closed in Victoria. So, yes, Annette, Dan Andrews talking about Click for Vic. And I think there's booze in that. Let me quickly check Click for Vic, actually. Click for Vic. Is it Victoria? Yeah. Okay, Click for Vic. I don't want your newsletter. Fuck off with the pop-up. Dine at home. Milk the cow. Happy hour at home. Bilson's Brewery. The Whiskery. I'm going to go visit them when we're allowed to. See if their whiskey actually comes out. Uchuka Distillery. Everly Bottling. Patient Wolf. What's the Echuca distillery got? Gin and beer, apparently. Menu. No, that's they do food, apparently. Shop. That's what I want. Products. Here we go. What do they actually have? They have Father's Day. Ooh, Navy gin. Dang. Drinks package. Mother's Day gin flight. So they're a gin maker. Yuzu and ginger gin. Interesting. Port Barrel aged gin. They're a gin maker because that's easy. Ooh, they do the purple one. Butterfly pea and passion fruit gin. High Street dry gin. What else we got? Navy strength gin. Hibiscus rose gin. Vodka infusions. Negroni gin cocktail. Fucking hate Negronis. Anyway. What strength is their Navy strength? 57. Nice. It's a pretty good price too. What's that about? Butterfly pea. Kind of tempted to get one of these butterfly ones because it changes color. What's in their drinks package? Little sampler. $70. And it's got Navy strength gin, yuzu and ginger gin, little sample bottles. Oh, only 50 mils. Okay. So and there's a tonic to go with each. So this is 6 gin and tonics. I'm coming. 6 gin and tonics for $70. Navy strength gin, yuzu and ginger gin, butterfly pea and passion fruit gin, cucumber twist, hibiscus rose gin, and lemon myrtle infused vodka. So that's like 5 gin and tonics for $70, which is not bad. Kirsten, you love the Echuca Navy strength. Yes, like a stripper, I have seen Cartman on South Park just eating the skin off all their KFC and ruining it for everyone, as Cartman tends to. Anyway, that's 10 o'clock, boys and girls. Kids. Assorted motherfuckers. So, yes, I am going to go to bed. Thank you, fine people, for spending some time with me, and going to retire for the evening. And I probably won't be on tomorrow night, but will be on the night after. Tomorrow I'll edit my Whisky Sour videos to go on the Angry Cocktails channel because Whisky Sour Day is Tuesday. So I'll put it up Monday night or Tuesday morning, probably Tuesday morning. Probably put up like Tuesday. Anyway. Go subscribe to Angry Cocktails if you're not already, okay? Thank you all for spending time with me. You're fabulous. Love yous all. And hope to see you again soon. But I will say bye for now.